Bred to Win, brought to you by Arrowfield, the home of four-time champion sire Schnitzel.
At 10 million, take 500 more, at 10 million.
Hello, I'm Caroline Searcy. Welcome to a new week of Bred to Win. Coming up, we visit the home of now three-time Champion Australian Sire Am Invincible and bring you up to date on the deeds of his son Hellbent, as well as their barnmate, dual Group 1 winner Brave Smash, sire of $2.2 million filly Kooringal. Kooringal Stud's faith in dual Group 1 winner Prized Icon pays off with champion filly Tropical Squall. And Rich Hill Stud's John Thompson with some homegrown inspiration in Arrowfield Stud's industry influences. First though, all the latest Aushorse news.
And they're racing.
As we enter a new racing and breeding season, season 23-24 wrapped up with Am Invincible being crowned Champion Australian Sire for the third successive year. Vinny finished with earnings of over $32 million, ahead of Zoostar with $24 million, and the past two seasons runner-up So You Think in third place, just edging out Pride of Dubai with four-time champion sire Schnitzel in fifth place. Am Invincible stands this season at Yarraman Park Stud at a fee of $275,000, with his season highlighted by the 5 Group 1 wins to mighty mare Imperatriz, who was subsequently sold for a record $6.6 million as a broodmare. Darley's Too Darn Hot was champion first season sire ahead of Tessort and Pirata, with star 2-year-old Broadsiding leading the way for the son of Dubawi and Dare Me. Widden Stud's Trapeze Artist clinched second season sire honours over the Autumn Sun, largely thanks to the deeds of his Caulfield Guineas winner Griff. Yulong Stud's Written Tycoon was champion sire of 2-year-olds with a Golden Slipper winner in Lady of Camelot on his CV in 2024. And the wonderful influence Fastnet Rock may have been retired from stud duties, but his influence lives on as champion broodmare sire, with the progeny of his daughters earning a record $37 million in the season. As well as the Golden Slipper winner, other representatives of Fastnet Rock included Magic Millions winner Stormboy and Group 1 winners Zugotcha, Jolly Star, V8 and more. The Australian racing and breeding world lost one of its most influential men through the week with the death of Kooringal Stud's George Altamonte. The breeder of 2 Golden Slipper winners, Sebring, and racing in his own distinctive orange and white colours, Overreach, Altamonte leaves a huge legacy in elite Australian pedigrees with other stakes winners he's bred, including Wager, Minari, Standout, Lofty Strike and many more. Kooringal Stud will continue under George's son Anthony and grandson Tommy after recently moving the bloodstock business to Scone. George Altamonte was aged 89.
Still Zarastro, a length and a half right to party, is now rocketing.
A beautiful grey mare, Jonathan Munz's now 4-year-old Right to Party, won the first Australian Stakes race of the season, the Group 3 Ori Star Handicap at Flemington. It was the third win in the row for the daughter of Zoostar and the Dahir mare De Groove, herself a sister and half-sister to stakes winners Super Groove and Tycoon. Zoostar, the past season's runner-up champion Australian sire, stands this spring at Widden Stud at a fee of $275,000. After last week profiling Gysel Park Stud in Western Australia and hearing about the Dr. Zeus named horses, it was fitting to see one of them, Fuddle Dee Duddle, as the dam of a Brisbane winner on Saturday. The $1 million yearling, following the Aussie Rules champion naming conventions by the Rosemont Stud Partnership, Brereton was back in the winners list. A Maribyrnong Plate winner, he's also by Widden Stud's Zoo Star.
I Am Famous kept going from Nancy.
The Inglis Graduate of the Week is a success at the top end of the commercial sphere, with $2 million yearling I Am Famous stringing a third straight win together with victory at Rosehill Gardens on Saturday. Sold by Tyrrell Stud as a 2022 Inglis Easter yearling and bought by the Yellow Brick Road Company and Mitchell Bloodstock, the now 4-year-old mare looks destined for Stakes Company next preparation. She featured in our Inglis Easter yearling sale preview before becoming the 4th highest top lot at Easter 22. Her Dam Pinocchio is an Encosta de Largo half-sister to 5-time Group 1 winner Racing to Win and lived much of her life as a broodmare at Tyrrell Stud before being sold at this year's Inglis Chairman's Sale for $1.15 million to Bromfield Park and Group 1 Bloodstock. $3.3 million earner on the track, the 2023 Coolmore Classic winner Espiona reached an incredible $4.15 million in a standalone Magic Millions online auction through the week. Star Thoroughbreds and Brett Howard bought the Daughter of Extreme Choice for $190,000 as a yearling, and the winning bidder was Zijun Zhao, with the 5-time stakes winning mare to reside at Victoria's Yulong Farm. And finally overseas, where a highlight of the Goodwood Carnival was the return to form of 2000 Guineas winner Dubawi's notable speech in the Group 1 Sussex Stakes. While Australia's Royal Ascot winner Asphora put in a brave performance to just miss out on a win in the Group 2 King George Stakes. The winner Big Evs by Blue Point from the family of Group 1 winners Dylan Thomas, Homecoming Queen and Queen's Logic.
Big F for Asphora and Keen Believing.
The Mitchell family's Yarraman Park Stud has always been a quintessential Australian family operation with a big influence on racing results in Australia and around the world. They have Champion Sire now 3 times in I Am Invincible and his sire son Hellbent, along with Brave Smash, all producing stakes winners week in, week out. It's been another wonderful year for Yarraman Park Stud, and congratulations, of course, firstly for I Am Invincible being crowned 3-time Champion Australian Sire now with his success finishing at the top of the Sires list in the season just gone. It's just an incredible achievement, isn't it, for one stallion?
Yeah, it is great. I mean, 3 years in a row is fantastic, and he, I think he was runner-up 4 times before that. So, no, we're very lucky to have him, and he's had a great season. He broke the record for prize money and had a wonderful year, probably headlighted by a champion like Imperatriz. So, no, great year, Caroline. Everything's going along well.
And the other 2 stallions here, Brave Smash and Hellbent. Well, we'll look at Brave Smash first, coming into his 2nd season here at Yarraman. And he was a stakes winner in Japan. He won the Futurity, the Manikato in Australia, 3rd in an Everest. So he's an elite sprinter by any stretch. Why was he a good fit for Yarraman?
Well, he started very well. He stood up in Queensland. He got limited support, I think, in his first year. I think a lot of people didn't really understand him, but he's the only Japanese horse that was a sprinter. We didn't really have him on our radar until we saw some weanlings, and we thought his weanlings looked really good and he really stamped them. So anyway, they came out in his first crop and he started particularly well. I mean, he had that great 2-year-old Brave Halo, unfortunately had to be euthanased, who was the best 2-year-old in Perth and came over for the Blue Diamond, and then he ran 4th and got injured in that race and was probably unlucky not to win. So, we saw him start very well, and then obviously Brave Mead and Komachi. So our ears pricked up a bit, and then there was sort of mention that possibly we could, Aquis were quite keen to bring him to the Hunter. So we started looking into it a bit more seriously, and yeah, we liked him. We liked the fact that he was a horse that trained on and that they're very tough and genuine, and we thought there was a lot of upside in his mare quality. And last year here, in his first year here, he covered a very good book of mares. So, we like him.
It is incredible, the Japanese blood. You know, obviously he has it on both sides of his pedigree. Sunday Silence, of course, in there, but also Northern Dancer, Roberto, and other, you know, huge stallion influences. How much study do you put into the pedigree of the new stallion that you're prepared to take on?
Well, we do a bit, but I think really the fact that he started so well was what really attracted us. But he's got a funny pedigree, but as you said, he's got Sunday Silence in his pedigree and Northern Taste. He's got the best stallions that ever in Japan in his pedigree. So it all sort of fitted for us, I think. He was a horse we thought was, you know, worth the punt, and especially the way he started. And obviously they've come out at 3 and trained on really well as well. So I think he's a pretty good stallion.
Yeah, and Komochi, of course, the Lightfinger Stakes winner, and of course out of an I Am Invincible mare. So I'm sure that's a big part of the attraction too, is the Vinny mares that you have here.
Yeah, it was. Look, to be honest, we saw Komochi. She's not over big. She's not out of a stunningly bred Vinny mare, but, you know, we just thought, wow, we've got a lot of Vinny mares here, and this horse could really fit the bill. Obviously, with Hellbent, you know, we can't use our Vinny mares for him. So, you know, we've got, you know, quite a lot of Vinny mares in foal to Brave Smash, you know, foaling shortly. So that's going to be exciting. I think it might really work. I think people are a bit over the cheap speed. As you said, he won 2 Group 1s, the Manicato, the Futurity, ran 2nd in the Newmarket, 3rd in Everest. We sort of look for those horses a bit now because we want the longevity. And from 2 to 3, we were really hoping that Brave Smash would, you know, continue. And the way Komochi came back and raced so well through that Princess Series, and then, you know, Brave Mead came out, and just a lot of his other stock that just kept coming back and improving. And you know, that's silly what we want with a stallion, because I think to stay up the size tables today, you've got to have a bit of longevity. He's an outcross to everything. He's great for Northern Dancer mares. We've got so many mares by, you know, Sitzel and Not a Single Doubt and those sort of stallions. I mean, Fastnet Rock. I mean, you know, there's so many mares of that ilk. And I think people sometimes are struggling for an outcross. And, like, he's an outcross that's proven to doing a great job. So, I mean, I can just see him being a big influence in the years to come.
And Hellbent, of course, you know, obviously a son of I Am Invincible, standing next to his sire here. He won the William Reid Stakes. Of course, that was fantastic to see him get that Group 1. But again, he has a really interesting pedigree. His great-grandfather on both sides is Green Desert, a July Cup winner, sire of Cape Cross, and of course, Invincible Spirit, Oasis Dream. But, you know, such an incredible stallion influence there. It's, again, a really interesting pedigree mix for him.
Yeah, well, we like Green Desert, and that really appealed to us, was that double cross of Green Desert. But, you know, we took a bit of a punt on him, but we liked him physically, and, you know, we loved his turn of foot we'd seen already. And, look, it's worked out very well. He's doing a great job.
Well, you've got a very good knack of picking these horses. Of course, Magic Time has been an incredible success story for Hellbent, and a great example of kind of the vagaries of breeding. Her obviously very astute and successful breeder, John Muir, couldn't get a bid on her at the sales. But again, he's been proven correct, and you as well.
Oh, look, she's an elite race mare, really, you know, 2 Group 1s, and I think more to come. She's a really good filly. We all want to get the best mares we can to our stands, and we're lucky to have a syndicate behind us with Hellbent. But you always want better mares. But look, we did get some good support, and look, he's leading 3rd season sire. He's 7th on the 2-year-old sires list this year. He got Fully Lit, who won the Inglis Millennium. He's had Benedetta won a Group 1. I mean, his first crop, 2 Group 1s, a Group 2, pretty good. I mean, not many stallions going any better because, you know, the next couple of years the books are better. So, yeah, we're very keen on him. I think it's very competitive out there, and I think our horses have both got a good book of mares, so we're very lucky. But, yeah, they've got to do it on the racetrack. I mean, that's the end of it. And because we only stand 3 stallions, we can really support our horses. And it's hard when you've got a hell of a lot of stallions to give them all the support. So these horses are going to cover a lot of our very good mares this year. We don't send a hell of a lot of mares out. The majority of our mares stay here. So, you know, Brave Smash and Hellbent will get a very good book of mares this year.
So great to see wonderful people having so much success. And in coming weeks, we'll hear from Arthur Mitchell about the great deeds of I Am Invincible. Coming up after the break, on Bred to win the Cambridge Stud Performance of the Week and the gorgeous prized icon and more at Wagga Wagga's Kooringal Stud.
Prize at Dawn still going strongly in the lead.
The Cambridge Stud Performance of the Week was another victory in Melbourne. This time, Rise at Dawn, a son of their European star sire, Almanzor. The 4-year-old gelding from the Tauke mare, K's Awake, has now won 5 from 10 for the Lindsay Park team and was a $90,000 Inglis Premier Sale yearling in 2022, sold by New Zealand's Monavale Farm. Almanzor finished in 6th place in the New Zealand General Sires list at the end of the season just finished, with offspring earnings of $2.1 million. The son of Wootton Bassett stands the new season at Cambridge Stud at a fee of $30,000 NZ plus GST. The Lamont family's Kooringal stud at Wagga Wagga in southwestern New South Wales continues to grow its stallion band, and the greatest success this year has come from their young sire Prized Icon, who early on in his career has sired champion filly Tropical Squall.
Garter and Kayla Nisbet have won the country championship final.
Kooringal Stud is one of my favourite places in New South Wales, just a beautiful property, and the stallions are doing so well for you. We'll talk about each one individually, but heading into spring off the back of the results so far, particularly Prized Icon, Merchant Navy and the Brothers War, there's so much to look forward to.
Yeah, it's fantastic, Caroline, and thank you for coming down again. It's always a pleasure to have you, and yeah, we've had a huge autumn and we're thrilled with the results that have been happening on the track.
If we look at Prized Icon, you know, reminding people what a great racehorse he was, the Fernhill Champagne, VRC Derby, placed in Australian Guineas, Chipping Norton Spring Champion, ran vet. I mean, an elite racehorse, but what a filly he had in Tropical Squall, winning the flight, so the best of her generation, in Sydney in that spring, and then, of course, this year, the Surround Stakes. An incredible result.
Yeah, it's extraordinary, and, you know, I was really pleased to breed that filly, and yeah, it's been such a success for the farm and for Guree, now the owners.
He's the sort of horse, being a Derby winner, and he was out as a Group 1 winning 2-year-old, but as a Derby winner, you expect these horses are going to improve, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely, and they are getting better as they get older and maturing, and over a trip as well, so they're winning up to 2,000 metres at the moment and possibly further yet.
And it's Montgomery off and gone. Easy work for Montgomery.
And a lot of really exciting younger horses. Montgomery is a nice horse for John Thompson. Magicon, one on the same day. And we filmed Magicon with a drone actually being born. So it's so nice to come back, you know, a couple of years later and see the foal being a winner on the track.
Yeah, that's it. And he looks a very smart horse. He put a couple of wins together. Unlucky to get beaten there and ran third in town the following start, so should be a pretty big spring for him.
And Merchant Navy, now you've had him here for a little while. Of course, we know a Coolmore Stud Stakes winner, the excitement of winning the Diamond Jubilee at Royal Ascot. Royal Merchants won the Goodwood, Cotty the Tats Mile, and of course Steel City won the Magic Night Stakes last year. So he's such an underrated stallion, this gorgeous son of Fastnet Rock, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, and we're looking forward to his first foals this spring for us, and yeah, he's doing a fantastic job on the track at the moment.
Yeah, he's an interesting powerhouse of a horse, isn't he? I mean, he has that Fastnet Rock, that bulk about him, but obviously that incredible turn of foot as a 2- and 3-year-old.
He certainly did. He was a world-class racehorse, but they're actually looking better as they're getting older and over a trip as well. He's had winners last month from 1,000 metres to 2,400 metres, and they're just he had 19 winners back in June and 7 winners this week, so he's really flying.
Being by Fastnet Rock, that's what they do too, don't they? And we watched, you know, everyone thinking, where are the 2-year-old Fastnet Rocks? But then they came out and they won all those great sprint races and over distances too. So he's very much in the mould of his sire.
100%, and he is very much in the mould of his sire, and he's doing a fantastic job. So very underrated, as you said.
And Finance Tycoon, I mean, you know, you talk on your website that you have this great variety of stallions and types and pedigrees. And of course, he won a Maribyrnong and a Zetative by the Champion Sire written Tycoon. That blood is just gold. And he has his first yearlings just coming through as well. But he's interesting as a leggy sort of a type. So again, suits perhaps a slightly different sort of mare than a Merchant Navy, for instance.
Yeah, absolutely. Like he is a big, tall horse, but he's not getting huge stock. Like they're not too big, which is nice. But I've got quite a few foals on the ground by him. He wasn't with us in his first season, but a lot of mares came in foal with him. And there's some really promising types amongst them, so I'm thrilled with them.
Sandbar the outside takes the lead, and Sandbar...
And I really enjoyed seeing Sandbar here. I mean, he's by the 4-time champion Australian Sire in Schnitzel. He's a half-brother to the Golden Slipper winner in Farnan, but he's more of a Schnitzel type, isn't he? I mean, he's really quite a compact, really, you know, sprinty-looking son of Schnitzel.
Yeah, he is, absolutely. And that's what I mean by there's a bit of variety for everyone. He's just going to suit a lot of mares. I like stallions that are not too big, not too heavy, and he's that. And what we're seeing from his foal's so athletic, and we've got some really nice rising 2-year-olds coming through.
And finally, the Brothers War. I mean, it was always an interesting pedigree, being by Warfront, of course, the Danzig line. He's from a Saddler's Wells mare. He's had the dual stakes winner Ancestry. Bandy's Boy won the Star Kingdom this year, and such a great thrill for the farm with Asgarda winning the country championships final. This is what he is. He's the sort of stallion you can breed to, and he's not an expensive stallion, but boy, the results on the track are great, particularly for local breeders and people that want to breed to race.
Yeah, the Brothers War's been fantastic. He never gets many mares. His biggest crop of mares has been 34 mares to him. So he's always only covering 10 or 15 mares, and he's getting good results on the track. He had 2 runners in the country championship final. We got the win with Asgarda. Like, it's just been such a thrill, and they can all gallop and all put together a lot of prize money. He's averaging over 100,000 more than his service fee on the track per starter. So he's doing a great job.
And yourself and Jenna and the kids living here, and Richie you're in partnership with, your brother as well, taking over, I guess, from Stuart and Penny, who's set Kooringal Stud up for such success over the years. It's really important, isn't it, to have this generational, operation within the Australian breeding industry, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's it. And it's been beautifully established by my father and my grandfather before him. And we're really lucky to have such a beautiful property here, 3,500 acres. It's all double fenced with tree lines and beautifully set up for horses. So, you know, we're very lucky to be going forward and improving our bloodlines and improving runners on the track. There's been a lot of fantastic horses bred here in the past, and I'm sure there's going to be plenty more in the future.
Always great to see these family operations who are the backbone of the Australian thoroughbred breeding industry. Coming up after the break on Bred to Win, Arrowfield Studs Industry Influences.
Well, I suppose the reason I got started in the breeding industry, Carolyn, was my parents had some mares, and Dad was an equine vet, but he did invest in brood mares and stallion shares, and he was very lucky. He had some great successes. So he was, him and his mates imported a stallion called Battle Wagon, who of course went on inside some really great of the New Zealand turf like Battle Heights, and I think he was the broodmare sire of Let's Elope, and Dad was also an original shareholder in Zabeel. So, you know, I used to go to the Trentham sales with their small draft of 1 or 2, 3 yearlings, and that's really what got my interest in the industry, and I just love the sales atmosphere, and I love the thought of trying to mate horses and create good horses.
And it's not everyone in the industry who follows what their parents do, but as you say, it's the excitement and the theatre of the sales and that challenge to breed a good horse, which is what you're endeavouring to do at Rich Hill Stud.
That's right. I mean, we started off as a relatively small operation, and you know, we really only had sort of half a dozen mares. You know, we were relying on selling other people's horses a lot, which some of them sold very, very well, and we sold some very good horses. But, you know, myself personally, I just got a little bit frustrated with that and felt, well, I've got to get in and get my own stallions and get my own brood mares and try and create something, which I believe managed to do very successfully over the years.
And it is a wonderful career, isn't it, being in the thoroughbred breeding industry? What would you say to young people wanting to go out on their own and give it a go?
Look, I think one of the great things is the people you meet along the way, and you know, you make friendships that last forever because you've all got something in common, and that is the thoroughbred horse. But yeah, there's great opportunity out there for young people at the moment to come in and you know, join a successful organisation, and then perhaps, you know, get into a horse of their own. You know, they don't have to outlay a whole lot. I know myself, we brought a mare called Sheila Chevelle. I still remember for $1,500 out of the paddock, and she ended up being the dam of 10 times Group 1 winner King Mufasa, or Mufasa as we know him in New Zealand. So, you know, they're the sort of stories that can happen, and I think it's never going to happen if you don't have a horse. So, you know, I encourage young people to, you know, get out there and give it a go, and you know, you don't have to be a multi-millionaire to get into a good horse.
That's all for this week on Bred to Win. Join me again next week as we profile the stunning son of Exceed and Excel Signore Fox, and kicking early goals, the gorgeous grey son of So You Think, D'Argento at Bonus Stud. That and much more next week. I'm Caroline Searcy. I look forward to seeing you then.
Bred to Win, brought to you by Arrowfield, the home of 4-time Champion Sire Snitzel.